Joining me now is Bobby Gesse of the Ames Tribune to talk potential Big 12 expansion. Bobby, thanks for joining and welcome to the show.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
So tomorrow is a pretty big vote for the future of the Big 12. There is some indication that Commissioner Bob Bowlesby is doing some late campaigning to try to amend the current proposal to meet what the rest of really the FBS conferences would like to see from the conference. What is the latest you are hearing in terms of how that vote is going to go?
Yeah, the latest was a quote from Bowlesby that came out, I think it was yesterday, that said he believes they'll be able to find a way to make it work to the point that everybody likes it. So what that means changes-wise, specifically with the amendment, to basically give the Big 12 or other conferences without 12 teams the ability to play a title game. We'll have to see what comes out of it. But with where I'm sitting now and stuff that's come out, I kind of expect this to pass in some way, shape, or form. Maybe not what everybody thought it was going to be, but I think by the time we get done with all of the meetings and everything that go along with that, we'll see someone like the Big 12 have the ability to have that title game that they want.
Now, should the vote go against the Big 12, do you foresee the conference expanding by two teams as quite a few people are now reporting or were reporting up until yesterday?
Yeah, I think that may be the way the Big 12 will go. It's kind of a general impression that's come out of the league is, conferences, all of these athletic departments are all big money entities. There's no longer just running an athletic department, and the money, the fiscal side of it says there's more money that can potentially be made there if they expand, if they find the right couple of teams, and also the ability to ensure kind of the safety for the Big 12. I think you would call it playing defense a little bit. You have 10 teams. If they lose a couple teams, all of a sudden the league ends up in a really tough spot, kind of like what you saw with the last major go-around with realignment in 2010. So it kind of helps protect them as well as the possibility to ensure that some of these schools end up making a little bit more money with any sort of TV deal or anything else that comes along down the road, along with the money you might get out of the title game.
Now, should the conference look towards expanding, who are you hearing are the latest front runners?
That's a really, really good question because that answer seems to change every few months. The obvious candidate would be somebody in Texas, like a Houston, but the consensus is the program's already in the Big 12 and they don't want to add another program from that state. It does not help them at all when it comes to, eyeballs adding a new state, a new TV market, a chance to get additional revenue that way. BYU has always been the interesting one. I think for a lot of people, just because they're sitting out there on their own, they're without a conference. You see some reports and stories coming out of there that BYU might very well want to end up in a conference in a couple years. They just lost their football coach, and a lot of people think that has to do with the fact that they're not involved in a conference. So you have them there. To be honest with you, there's no real obvious candidate. It's a slam dunk that the Big 12 should go after, because if that was the case, the Big 12 would have expanded to 12, as far back as 2010 at any point between now and then. And the issue with that has always been finding teams that they can bring in that will ensure that everyone in the conference makes more money than they do now off of things like the TV revenue and the deals like that.
Now I'm talking about Bobby Gesse of the Ames Tribune. Now, in terms of UConn, I know the football program out there in Iowa State just had a series with the Huskies, as well as met in the NCAA tournament in basketball. Do you know what the administration's view at Iowa State is of the Huskies program, and are they viewed in a good light, and if potential expansion came to the Huskies?
Yeah, I haven't spoken too much with the athletic administration specifically about UConn, but I know from having Iowa State playing them in the past, as you mentioned, both in football and basketball, they've said positive things about them overall in the past, just having the athletic department, things they do. The thing with Iowa State is they've always been one of the staunchest people for the Big 12 for whatever is best for the league is what they tend to go with. They were the first university that's in the league when realignment was coming around that put out a public statement that basically says that back in the Big 12, they're staying and they support the league, which everybody in the league ended up having to do. Now, Iowa State, when it comes to kind of a pecking order for programs in the Big 12, they don't have as much say and sway as, somebody like Texas or an Oklahoma. And that was kind of shown a little bit in the last round of realignment. And so for Iowa State, that is to ensure the long-term future of the Big 12, because they kind of found out that's kind of the best spot for them when it comes to revenue, anything like that, playing in a big conference. So Iowa State's going to be the program that's probably, for the most part, in most situations, goes with what most of the rest of the conference thinks is the best thing to do, and they're probably going to decide that way. So if you're looking for somebody to try to sway things to ensure UConn might be a team to come into the Big 12, I don't think Iowa State is probably the university that will do that. That's not something in the past that they've historically done. They tend to be the ones that go with the status quo, or what people want to be the status quo going forward.
Now, you kind of touched on my next question there. In terms of the future stability of the Big 12 Conference, should they stay at 10 teams, do you think that puts that stability at risk, especially for schools like Iowa State, Kansas State, TCU, and Baylor?
Yeah, you've got enough teams in that kind of weird spot that, they found out in 2010, a lot of other conferences aren't going to be coming after them. Kansas is probably that group, the one you named that most will go after, and that's for basketball purposes, not football. That's a rarity when it comes to conference expansion. I think the league is fine for right now at 10 teams because we're kind of paused in the carousel of it all. But the next time, whenever it happens, any sort of major realignment, yeah, there's going to be somebody that's potentially going to be in trouble, because you probably look at them and the ACC as the ones in the worst spot, I guess, if you want to find the right word there, for the chance to be picked off by somebody else. They were both in that spot last time. The Pac-12 kind of hung things out west. The Big Ten done solid footing in the Midwest. You have the SEC doing very well in the South. If you look at it from a geography standpoint, the Big 12 and the ACC are the ones that sit in the right spot to kind of be picked apart from somebody else. But yeah, I think when we get to that next go-around in realignment, where that happens, I think if you're a fan of the Big 12 program or a Big 12 university, you have to be a little bit worried about what could happen.
Now, switching gears to the Cyclones, who went 3-9 this season, Paul Rhodes has departed, and Matt Campbell has been hired from Toledo to take over the program. What's been the reaction to his hiring?
It's been overwhelmingly positive for the most part. I would say had played Toledo the last two seasons. The teams had split the games, so the fan base had a little bit of an idea about who he was. He was a guy who was chosen most of the year in the top 25. They knocked off a couple Power 5 conferences last year. It was a real good season. So his resume looks good. He came in and basically brought most of his staff from Toledo with him. They came in and got a really good ground start on the recruiting. And his first day officially as head coach after his press conference, he had to be a commitment from a high school junior quarterback. And seemingly it's been a commitment for them virtually almost every other day since then, whether it's in the class that's going to sign in February or the class that signs a year or two down the road. So, he came in, he hit the ground running, and that kind of stuff is always going to get the fans behind you, especially when you're in the off-season right now where there's no games for them to kind of judge them on. All you have them to go on for is their hires and their recruiting process, and they just been hitting the ground running and had a lot of success in those two avenues about his first month in the job.
All right, thanks, Bobby, for joining. Definitely look forward to catching up with you down the line should expansion rumors heat up, but it doesn't seem like it's going to go that way. So definitely appreciate you taking the time.
All right, my pleasure.